Colorado. They land a JUCO offensive tackle, Issiah Walker. I don't know. I might just give you the floor on this one because this one sounds like a pretty crazy story. But what do you know about this guy?
Oh, I was talking about it last night with my wife, who I've known for 6 years from now. I said, I think I saw this kid play before I even met you. Issiah Walker, he was a former blue chip kid in the 2018 cycle, longtime South Carolina committed there as a junior when he was at Miami Norland High School, ends up decommitting. It's a Florida Miami battle. A lot of people thought he was going to go to Miami. That's back when Mark Richt was there. Ends up signing with Florida, enrolls early, spends less than a month on campus before entering the transfer portal. Transfers to Miami, right? At Miami, sits out the COVID 2020 season, then redshirts in 2021. Leaves Miami. Some talk down in South Florida that he's done with football. Enrolls at Butler Community College. Starts getting some group of five offers before committing to Purdue. And I think the Boilermakers announced him at one point as a signee, doesn't show up on campus, returns to junior college. And then next thing you know, day before Halloween 2023, on my timeline, I see Issiah Walker has committed to Colorado. So a few different thoughts here. Okay. I mean, Coach Prime made some interesting comments after that loss to UCLA about his offensive line. And we know UCLA is really good up front. Not surprising that they struggled to protect Shadur Sanders. But I thought Prime saying, hey, we're just going to go get new offensive linemen. It's like, it's a lot, easier said than done. Issiah Walker has the traits. The big issue is he hasn't played college football in 5 years. So I'm sure, there's some Colorado fans out there that are going to start penciling Issiah Walker into their projected two deep for the 2024 season. But I think Colorado, we need to see a little bit more out of them, and that's why I said when they got Jordan Seaton in for an official visit or an unofficial visit a few months, I think he might be one of the more important targets out there for the Buffs, just because he's a guy that could play early. But I'm interested to see what direction they go when it comes to refortifying that offensive line, because at Jackson State they weren't really in the market for a bunch of O-line transfers. Now through a year in Boulder, they really haven't attacked that the offensive line unit either. And Issiah Walker, he could absolutely hit, but this might be a little fool's gold.
Pretty wild path for our boy Issiah Walker there. And if you're wondering if you're a Colorado fan, why would we take this kid? Drew said it. He's from the class of 2018. He no-showed at Purdue. A bunch of other crazy stuff. Well, as Drew alluded to, they've given up 42 sacks this season. Only Old Dominion has allowed more, and that's just one more sack with 43. So you're talking about one of the worst units in college football when it comes to pass protection. If you're Deion Sanders, I get it. You got to take a shot, right? So even if you got to go to JUCO and grab a guy with the crazy stories, sometimes it just calls for it.
And Coop, I think the other thing, not to get too into the weeds here, but obviously I talked to a lot of college coaches and personnel people. The junior college route is kind of a little more attractive at times when you're looking for, if you need an offensive tackle, think about it. When that transfer portal window opens up, everyone is going after the same few bodies that enter, right? I mean, you look up and the next thing you know, a group of five offensive tackle transferring, he'll have 25 offers. The luxury about recruiting junior college offensive linemen is you can talk to them right now. Talk to them, legally. I'm sure there's plenty of back channel conversations going on, but you can visit them at this point right now. So I guess maybe I should not be as harsh on this take for Colorado. From that sense, it does, you're adding a number in a veteran body in terms of just how mature he is from a physical standpoint.
Colorado, they'll also, Drew, I want to bring this up. They'll also get a visit from Florida commit, defensive line commit, top 247 defensive lineman, Nasir Johnson out of the state of Georgia. Georgia pushing for him as well. Drew, that's not nothing, right? I mean, this kid I like a lot. I think he's got top 64 traits. He is a big body, really good athlete, powerful at the point of attack. And he's one of those guys you kind of see like Florida, Georgia fits the mold of what they've been building on the defensive line. How big of a get would Nasir Johnson be for Colorado?
Yeah, Colorado's like low key got some traction there in the Peach State. That is one area where they continue to invest resources. Amontre Bradford, a high 3-star edge rusher from us, he OV'd and ended up committing there. They got Cam Michael on campus. I'm fascinated to see what happens with Nasir Johnson. I think we were ahead of the curve there when we moved him up in the rankings. Two-way player out of Dublin, Georgia high school. He can do a standing backflip, state placer in both the shot put and the discus. I watched the tape and I'm like, okay, not a lot of guys move like this. Not a lot of guys can make plays like him and create negative plays. So I do agree. Kind of just an interesting, fascinating storyline to like follow this weekend, or just where that recruitment goes, because 6 months ago, no one really knew who Nasir Johnson was.
It's funny when you talk to college personnel types around the country and you kind of take their temperature on Colorado. They're like, yeah, they're the wild card. We just don't know, right? Like all of a sudden you could be feeling really good about a kid in a recruitment, and then out of nowhere, there's Colorado, right? And they are able to kind of gain ground pretty quickly. We'll see what happens with Nas Johnson, Draylon Miller, another guy that we mentioned as well. Colorado picking up steam there too.
I meant to ask you this when we did the Cover 3 podcast. You call him Nas Johnson. Is that you just coming up with that, or is that actually his name?
Somebody has said that before. I didn't just go rogue on that and go out on my own. Big Nas,
I love
man. Yeah, Big Nas Johnson. Right?
I love it.
You are watching and tuning in to the 24/7 Sports Football Recruiting Podcast with Andrew Ivins and Cooper Patagna every Tuesday and Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. You can also find us on the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel.